Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Monday, August 18th. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 7 total players on Dong Watch for today's Dong Report. Of course, going to give you my 3 favorites if that's what you want to do, or you can spray the board, which is what I'm doing. However you want to play it is up to you. Before we get into today, let's do a recap from yesterday, which at least we had a day in the green, but it ended up being a pretty frustrating day overall. We were able to get 2 home runs to match. Thank you to Sharknado and Joe Adell. Zach Nato came through at the top of the 10th inning. I thought that game was finished, and then I got the home run alert on my phone that he hit a home run. So that was nice. That was able to put us in the green. But Salvador Perez hit a baseball 415 feet. Was not a home run. That's the damage, the downside of when you play at Royals home stadium is that stuff happens. And then Taylor Ward hit the crap out of the baseball. You look at his EV logs yesterday. Amazing that not one of those cleared a fence, but they didn't. So it could have been a really, really good day if one of those 2 came through, but they didn't. I'll at least take a day in the green up 0.45 units. On the entire year, that brings our total profit to 1.42 units of profit, 1.08% ROI. Obviously, that is not incredible, but we will take being in the green. Things have gone better since June 21st, put up 8.24 units, and that's obviously playing things 0.15, 0.1 units. So if you play things for more units, you're going to be up more, but you're also going to have a higher risk as well. But as for today, a decent weather slate, really good at Coors. That makes sense. I'll have a play there. Really good at the Braves Stadium, actually, and I'm going to have 2 plays there. I don't have anything for Wrigley just because I hate playing double headers, so nothing there. And I actually don't have anything in the Angels Stadium as well. Not great weather at the bank. Like you look from a weather perspective, -8. That's not great. And then decent at Padres. I actually have a play there. I am going back to Kaufman. Maybe I'm going to end up regretting it, but I do have a play that I like. And then I actually have a couple plays in the Tigers game, even though the weather's not great, but we'll talk about that. Mostly agreement across the board for from Weather Edge and Ballpark Pal. The biggest difference is the Tigers game. They have it at +15, and Ballpark Pal has it from a weather perspective at -7. So huge gap between the two. To me, honestly, the Ballpark Pal grade makes a little bit more sense, as much as I would love to say we'll go off of the Weather Edge one. But we can get right into it. The first play that we're locking in here is Ramon Laureano. We're taking him. He is best offered at +375 odds at Bet365. Now, he's absolutely on fire, and he did hit a home run yesterday, so I get that some people aren't going to like it. I think I have 2 players today, 2 of the 7. So for those of you that say that I only take guys that hit a home run the day before, it's 2 out of 7, and that's typically how the card works. But really what we're looking at here, just excellent form for, look at this, barrel in 5 straight games, and then he had a barrel back on August 9th as well. The hard hits aren't quite what you would look for, but the barrels are there, and 2 hard hits yesterday is very, very good. The launch angle on these is fantastic. So even though that he hit a home run, we're just looking for the consistent barrels, which he has been doing. And we're looking for a pitching matchup, which he has. He's going up against Robbie Ray of the Giants. Now, Robbie Ray is not terrible by any means, but the biggest thing for him is he's a lefty, and we're going to talk about that. But he's also not anybody to be completely scared of. Home run allowed every 23 at-bats to right-handed hitters. That's over the last 6 weeks. You look at the entire year, it's every 28 at-bats. So he's been slightly worse recently, especially the fastball is what really has gotten better. Or, yeah, I guess the fastball's gotten better, but the other pitches have gotten worse. But he's a lefty, and Ramon Laureano absolutely annihilates, crushes left-handed pitching. His ISO rate against lefties over the last 30 days, 471. His barrel rate in that stretch, 27%. His hard hit rate in that stretch, 65%. And he's really not striking out that much either. He only has a strikeout rate of 13.5%. So those high barrel rate and hard hit rate numbers is fantastic when you consider how little he's striking out. When he was on the Orioles, he was crushing left-handed pitching. Granted, he's also been good against righties as well, but he's been really, really good against lefties. Ballpark Pal really liked the matchup for Ramon Laureano. So he is our first play of the day, +375. Next up, unsurprisingly, I'm going with 2 players in the Tigers. Of the favorites, Barry, aka or Kerry Carpenter, aka Barry, is the second of my 3 favorites. but I'm also taking Riley Green as well. Now, I know that the weather is stinky in this one, but the reason I feel comfortable going with Barry is because he has an excellent pull rate, and the Tiger Stadium has this super small right field. So you see, and Barry has his ISO rate at home is much better than it is away. So you look at him. We're going to Barry. You look at his splits. I should have had this pulled up before, but you look at his splits. His home splits, ISO rate 338, only 208 at home. You want to know why? It's because of that short right field porch, and his pull rate is allowing him to hit home runs more at home than anything. His numbers over the last week are okay. I mean, 1 barrel is not that impressive. 7 hard hits or 5 hard hits is fine. He's not in the lineup every single day, but what we love, pull rate 50%, fly ball rate 40%. That stuff is fantastic. And then Riley Green, we're just taking him because he's doing such a good job of barreling the ball up, and he's putting the ball in the air at a pretty good rate as well. 65% fly ball rate. He actually is tied for the MLB lead in total barrels over the last week. You see Riley Green here with 5. He's got double-digit hard hits in that stretch as well. Another player that's got the barrels is Ramon Laureano. Look at the last 2 weeks, and Riley Green is tied for second with Corbin Carroll with 9. So he's been hitting very, very well. The pitcher that they are facing is Spencer Arrighetti, who's really not anybody that I'm that scared of. He's a decent pitcher, but he's only made a couple starts this year, and he hasn't looked fantastic. Like, his first start back from injury, he got hit up pretty well. His second start, he didn't give up a ton of runs, but his command was really bad. So I'm definitely not scared off of the pitching matchup by any means, even though he has been worse against righties. It's such a small sample size. And then last year, he was a decent home run pitcher. He wasn't terrible, but he also wasn't he's not Paul Skeens, anybody that you want to completely avoid. So all in all, I like the 2 guys on the Tigers a lot. And I also like the price, which I should have started with. Normally, Barry is like a low 300s guy. We're getting him at plus 420. And Riley Green is actually plus 500 at Bet365. And he was 390 at FanDuel. He did go up to 400, but still, I love the gap between Bet365 and FanDuel. I like when you're getting something off the market from FanDuel, and that's a pretty decent gap, 400 to 500. So 420 for Barry, 500 for Riley Green. That is the second play of my favorites, and then my second and third overall. The last one of my favorites is Michael Harris, and then I'm also taking in the same game Lenyn Sosa. So that is plays 4 and 5. Lenyn Sosa and Michael Harris. Really good odds on both of these guys that that Ballpark Pal really, really likes. You see Lenyn Sosa plus 560 at FanDuel. That's a positive EV play, a pretty highly positive EV play as well. And then Michael Harris is 550 at Bet365. Another slightly positive EV play. Now, there are a ton of EV plays according to Ballpark Pal. In this one, I settled on Michael Harris and Lenyn Sosa. I really, really wanted to go Colson Montgomery. He's just really cooled off recently. So you kind of wonder whether his, the run that he was on, whether that's behind him or not. But the weather in this one is fantastic. It's the second best home run game of the day. You see right here, plus 22%. It's tied with Coors, which is a good place to be in. The reason why is because of how hot it is. It's going to be in the 90s. Going to be slight winds blowing out. Granted, not going to really impact things that much, but it does still at least, that's not going to hurt it at least. And then Michael Harris, if you look at total hard hits recently, he's been fantastic. Literally leads the MLB in hard hits over the last 14 days. Over the last 7 days, he is tied for, I guess he's got 11. So he's tied for third. That's still really, really good. He's hitting a lot of ground balls, but he's also hit 2 home runs in this stretch. But it's not like he's incapable of going yard. But those hard hit numbers are fantastic. The pitching matchup, it's kind of an unknown. The guy pitching for the White Sox, Yoendrys Gomez, is nobody. He's a kind of an unknown guy, but you look at him against lefties, home run every 22 at-bats. Pretty bad numbers across the board. 13% barrel rate, 43% hard hit rate. Really, really high line drive plus fly ball rate. So it's definitely a batter that you want to target with lefties. I also did look at Matt Olson. I just didn't like the odds on him. And then Lenyn Sosa is going up against Spencer Strider, who just really has not been the same this year. I mean, he's a home run every 22, 21 at-bats this year. But you look at him recently, the last 6 weeks, He's really struggled. Home run every 16 at-bats with horrific numbers across the board. High fly ball line drive rate, high barrel rate. He's bad against righties. He's bad against lefties. It's really, you feel bad because he was one of the best pitchers in baseball 2 years ago, but he's really, really struggled. And Lenyn Sosa has been fantastic. You look at total barrels over the last week, the last 2 weeks. Lenyn Sosa is up there with 8. He's one of 8 batters with 8 over the last 14 days. Not quite the same level of barrels over the last week, but still good. I mean, 3 barrels, 9 hard hits is good. And you look at what he did at the plate yesterday. 3 hard hits. Now, he is the second of the 2 players that hit a home run yesterday, Lenyn Sosa. So if you want to track specifically how the guys do that hit a home run the day before, we can. But he had 3 hard hits yesterday. You look into those hard hits, the hardest one of the game, 426 feet, absolute no doubter home run. He also had another line out, 101. And he had his third one was a fly out that traveled 370 feet, just a little bit harder hit. He's coming off of a 2 home run game. And you want to look at a batter, like, can he go back to back? Well, he just did earlier this month. He's hit a home run like every other game. Like, he's just been very, very good. So I like going with both of these players to hit a home run. Ballpark Pal loves it, +10 for Money Mike, +7 for Lenyn, but really high positive EV play for Lenyn. And the price on these is good. $560 and $550 is awesome. So that is play number 4 and 5. Play number 6, I'm going back to the Royals game, and I'm taking Pasquatch to hit a home run. Decent price on him at +4. That actually might have moved. When I locked it in, it was $475. If you can get the $525 now, obviously that's okay. That's what I thought. $475 at Bet365. That's the best offer price on Pasquatch. Hopefully we're not just bad luck with him. We took him on Saturday. He left after 1 at bat due to heat related issues. And then the guy who took his spot hit a home run. But he had 2 hard hits yesterday. One traveled 379 feet, 100 miles an hour off the bat. That's really good. And then his second hard hit was really nothing, so it's really just the 2. But he's been hitting the ball pretty well recently. You look at the Royals. Barrels are okay, but 11 hard hits over the last 7 days. It's pretty good. Pull rate's fantastic. Fly ball rate is good. He also has hit 2 home runs in this stretch, so he's been able to clear a fence. You look at the last 2 weeks. 18 hard hits, 3 barrels is acceptable. And then the pitcher, Jack Leiter, is a decent pitcher, but he's been really struggling against lefties recently. And against righties, he's really been very, very good, which is why I ended up going with with Pasquatch instead of going back to Perez. But the barrel rate's kind of high. The hard hit rate, the line drive rate, the fly ball rate are all pretty high against lefties. And Pasquatch has been hitting very well, +10 extreme advantage for him. So, that Ballpark Pal likes the matchup for him as well. And we're getting a decent price. And even though I hate Kauffman Stadium, it's winds blowing out, granted, blowing out to left field, and it's going to be hot. Temperature is going to be in the 90s. So hopefully we can get Pasquatch to crush one. And then the last play of the game, last play of the slate, Teoscar Hernandez to hit a home run. Pretty stinky odds on him at +300, but not a terrible, +300 is pretty low, admittedly, but I absolutely love this play for Teoscar Hernandez. If you look at the last week, he hasn't been fantastic, but you look at the last 2 weeks, 8 barrels, 16 hard hits over a 2-week stretch. It's very, very good. Now, the last 7 days, he has cooled off a little bit, 2 barrels over that stretch, only 4 hard hits. Though that's low. At least he's hitting the ball in the air and he's pulling it. But the biggest thing for Teoscar Hernandez is his splits against left-handed pitching. And he's going to be seeing a lefty tonight. He's going to be seeing Kyle Freeland. And he just annihilates, just crushes left-handed pitching. Over the last 30 days, 250 ISO is good. But on the year, that we want to look at, on the year, his ISO rate against lefties is 320. That is fantastic. So maybe he's cooled off slightly against left-handed pitching, but he's still 250 and above, which is what you're looking for. He's going up against Kyle Freeland. Huge advantage for him over Kyle Freeland. Freeland, not a bad pitcher, but he plays at Coors, which is brutal for him, and he can give up the long ball to righties. Over the last 6 weeks, home run every 14 at-bats is really bad. Horrific numbers across the board. And you look at the entire year, it's not quite as bad, but it's still pretty bad. Every 25 at-bats is not that bad, but every other stat is pretty bad. So Teo, I don't love the +300 odds, but I'm very, very confident that he's going to hit a home run. He did just hit one off of him I think last year. Yeah, and then he also had a fly out or another fly out that could have been a home run last year. So he almost had two against him on the same day. This one was 106 miles an hour off the bat, traveled 390 feet. So we almost hit two home runs off of him last year. So again, I don't really look at batter versus pitcher that much, but I did know that he had a good history against him. So that's all we got. 7 players on Dong Watch for today. Hopefully we can have a good day today. Lennon Sosa, Money Mike, Michael Harris, Teoscar Hernandez, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Ramon Laureano, and Pasquatch. My 3 favorites were Laureano, Barry, and Michael Harris. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and have a good one.